This is KGW News at noon.
The state of Idaho will be delaying the execution of one of America's longest-serving death row inmates. This after a failed lethal injection attempt when the medical team couldn't set up an IV line to administer the drugs. Thank you for joining us this noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. 73-year-old Thomas Eugene Creech was wheeled into the execution chamber at around 10 o'clock this morning. By 11 o'clock, the warden announced he was halting the execution. The medical team tried inserting the IV into both arms and legs, but in the end could not properly administer the lethal drugs. After the failure, Creech's attorney filed a motion to postpone any further attempts at execution. Creech has been convicted of 5 murders across 3 states. Police have linked him to as many as 11 deaths, including 2 in Oregon in the early 70s. He's been on death row now for over 40 years. Today's delay comes after the U.S. Supreme Court denied a request yesterday to postpone the execution. Now the Idaho Department of Corrections is considering what's next. And in just about an hour, accused killer Bryan Kohberger is expected back in court. He is the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students back in November of 2022. Today, his lawyers will be asking that more investigators be allowed to view certain genetic evidence. The court will also discuss where his trial should be held and a date for the trial itself. That hearing starts at 1 o'clock our time. Other big news at around 10 o'clock this morning on the Senate floor, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell announced he will be stepping down from the position in November. The 82-year-old Kentucky lawmaker is the longest-serving Senate leader in history. He said he plans to serve out his term in the Senate just from a different seat in the chamber. Back to our area now. After 17 years as Vancouver City Manager, Eric Holmes handed in his notice of retirement. According to the city, Holmes will step down from the position in early October. Mayor Ann McInerney-Ogle said she and the city council are sad to see him retire and have appreciated his perspective and counsel. And now to developments in the ongoing battle between Workers United and Starbucks. The two sides have agreed to resume labor talks to try to reach an agreement. That announcement came yesterday. Both sides have been at odds since late 2021, when Workers United first organized baristas at a store in Buffalo, New York. Since then, workers at 370 stores in the U.S. have voted to unionize, but none have reached a labor agreement with Starbucks. KGW's Joe Ranieri is working to get more information locally. He'll have more later today on the news at 4. The Federal Aviation Administration is giving Boeing 90 days to hand over a new plan to meet safety standards for building new planes. The deadline comes after FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker met with Boeing's CEO and other top company officials. Whitaker says Boeing needs to commit to, quote, real and profound improvements following several incidents involving its popular 737 MAX 9 model. So this is all happening as the FAA wraps up an audit of Boeing's Renton factory. That's where the plane involved in the door plug blowout in January over Portland was built. To our weather now. Gosh, it looked a little bit gray out there before I stepped into the studio. What are we expecting today, Rod?
Yeah, it's been raining all morning. Going to be raining the rest of today. Going to be raining tonight. The thing that will change is the rain, which has been mainly light so far today, will get heavier later today and especially heavier overnight tonight as that strong cold front comes in. I do want to point out one of the big headlines, the rising snow levels. Has been all rain over the Coast Range. And you can see it's above freezing up at Government Camp. The snow level itself, 4,000 to 4,500 feet. All the mountain passes now show clean pavement. So if you are traveling over the high country this afternoon, it's just wet. So that makes things a little bit easier, right? Here's the radar. We've got rain now through the gorge. We've got the rain snow depending on elevation up in the Cascades. Otherwise, it's been mostly light rain. You can see actually a few gaps between Salem and Portland currently showing up. Raindrops on the lens from the top of the Wells Fargo building. You see the flag. That's a south wind racing up the river. South wind sustained at 13. We've had some gusts to about 30. That continues to be noticeably breezy this afternoon as well. 52. Temperatures have been holding steady. I mean, it was 50 early this morning. So we'll be in the rain picking up department in terms of getting a little bit heavier later today. Temperatures holding mild. Now coming up, remember that front is moving in. We still expect, these are rain amounts between right now and tomorrow morning, well over an inch in Portland. So we'll talk about the heavier rain and then the bigger story, falling snow levels big time once again tomorrow. That's coming up.
Yeah, lots to talk about. Thank you, Rod. In Southern Oregon now, this morning, Medford police confirmed they are investigating allegations against a nurse at a hospital there after a wrongful death lawsuit was filed this week against that hospital and a nurse. The lawsuit alleges the nurse swapped out a patient's prescribed fentanyl medication with tap water, leading to a deadly infection. KGW's Alma McCarty spoke to the lawyer representing the patient's family.
His name is Horace Wilson. Went by Buddy.
It was January 2022 when 65-year-old Horace Wilson fell 10 feet off a ladder and suffered broken ribs and a lacerated spleen. Attorney Justin Idiart says the first step was surgery.
He had been intubated, but they took out the tube and things looked like, okay, he's going to recover fine from this. But then February 3rd, he starts to really take a turn for the worse.
A newly filed lawsuit alleges that's because a nurse at Medford's Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center deliberately switched out his prescribed fentanyl medication with tap water, introducing bacteria into Wilson's bloodstream.
This nurse is continuing to have access to his central line infusion, and we believe swapping out tap water for the fentanyl that should be coming through this drip. So this infection just keeps reoccurring.
From there, the lawsuit says sepsis led Wilson's organs to fail. In late February 2022, Wilson was taken off life support and hours later died. According to the Oregon State Board of Nursing, last November, the nurse named in the lawsuit voluntarily agreed to refrain from practicing, pending the completion of an investigation. KGW reached out to the nurse via her lawyer. We have not heard back. The hospital also did not respond to new requests for comment, though in January, when the allegations of drug diversion first broke, told our affiliate, KOBI, we reported it to law enforcement and are working closely with them. Wilson's family is now seeking $11.5 million, $10 million for his pain and suffering, another $1 million for medical costs, and $500,000 for his wrongful death.
No financial compensation is going to bring back Mr. Wilson, but it helps. He was only 65 years old. He's a successful businessman. He had 5 children, grandchildren, and he left a widow behind. You know, nobody would think that he would die that early.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Today, we are getting more insight into a deadly crash at a homeless camp in southeast Portland last weekend that killed one person. In court documents, witnesses say the driver crashed into the camp intentionally. He's now charged with manslaughter and is scheduled back in court next week. KGW's Blair Best interviewed the person who died several times previously while she was out reporting on other stories. Here she is now with an update.
There's one thing homeless people learn to rely on.
We have no choice but to be a family out here.
On Sunday, this man lost a member of his street family.
And everybody loves him because he always helped everybody out.
His name was David Bentley. His friends called him Dino.
I mean, he would give what he had.
A man drove his car into this camp on the corner of Southeast Belmont and MLK, hitting Dino and killing him.
Next thing you know, I came back home and somebody said, Dino just got killed.
Court documents obtained by KGW show police responded to a vehicle driving into tents. When they got there, police saw a man lying on his stomach with an obvious head wound. Witnesses told police it appeared the driver was going 40 to 50 miles per hour, intentionally trying to run people over in the camp. After Dino was hit, the vehicle dragged him down the sidewalk. Court documents say someone then started shooting at the driver.
The driver then got out of the car and ran about 2 blocks away until a group of homeless people stopped him here along these train tracks under the Morrison Bridge, and they held him here until police arrived.
He just, what did I do? What did I do? I said, you killed the guy. We told him you're going to pay for what you did because we don't need to be killed out here for no reason.
Police later identified the driver as Shane Martin McKeever. This is him in court Monday afternoon. McKeever has twice before been convicted of assault in Oregon, and investigators say he has a history of domestic violence.
This guy was cold, really cold. I mean, he didn't care one bit.
As for Dino, he was a staple in the Central East Side homeless community. We had met him several times before while reporting previous stories. He would tell us how tired he was of street life.
They follow you around and post on you and post on you and post on you, so you're in a constant state of mood.
Yet he never lost his dignity.
And not trying to always put off that image, that we live in dirt.
We have to survive out here, no matter what.
Dino shared a similar message with us just 6 months ago.
I don't want to die out here. I don't want to die just another homeless guy, just another number.
Blair Best, KGW News.